Hello friends, this is tutorial number 9 in this Scala programming language tutorials. In this tutorial we will talk about control statements. I'm pretty much sure that you know how they work from other languages. It's not a big difference, or it's not different at all. But first I want to show you about variables. You already saw when we define some variable in the Scala, we need to define or initialize a variable. For example, we will create one variable maximum, and it will be an integer. And now we want to print this variable and we need a text maximum equals, and we will use a dollar and curly braces and variable maximum. We can do that because we didn't initialize a variable. And in this application we want to have two numbers, number x and number y. We want to input these numbers, and as a response we want to get a maximum of these two numbers, just to program to show us the larger number. But in this moment we don't have these two numbers, and we didn't initialize our variable, and we cannot print it. But in some cases, when we have some variable, like in this case is maximum, and we want to be greater of the numbers that we will enter, but we still didn't enter, and we need to initialize this variable maximum. We can do this by equals, and we can use bottom line. Now we initialized our variable, and later in the application we can normally redefine our variable. But if we don't do this, if we initialize it with bottom line, and now if we want to print our variable, we will get 0. By it will be program will automatically detect this variable maximum as 0. If we run, and now we will see maximum equals to 0. Just wanted to show you that. But of course we will use this bottom line when we don't define, when we will use one variable and we will define or redefine it later. Now let's enter two numbers. We will need variable input will be equals to new scanner system.in. Now let's import scanner from the Java library, and now we need a message. It will be enter number x, and variable x will be input dot next. It will be integer, of course, and we need number y. Enter number y, and let's create and define our variable. Variable y equals to input dot next integer. And now we will enter these two numbers, and let's write a control statement. Of course, if x is larger, we want to be displayed the larger number of these two. And let's first write a control statement. It will be if, and we need a condition, if x is larger or greater than y. Now this is a condition of this if statement, and now we need a body with curly braces. If x is greater than y, maximum will be equals to number x. Pretty much simple. Okay, if x is greater than epsilon, maximum will be number x, which is okay. And we can now save this and let's run it. Okay, enter number x, it will be 20, and enter number epsilon, it will be 5. And as you can see, we redefined our maximum, and our maximum is 20, which is perfect, works perfectly. Let's try again. X equals to 5, epsilon equals to 2, and we have our maximum, which is perfect. We enter number 5 and we enter number 2, and maximum equals to 5. But now we will have situation x equals to 9 and epsilon will be also 9, and maximum by default will be 0. This is because we define our variable maximum with bottom line. Okay, and we will redefine it with this control statement. But this condition of this control statement, x needs to be greater than epsilon. And if this condition is not true, this maximum will not be redefined, it will stay as it is. And when we print that, we will just have maximum equals by default will be 0. We defined it with bottom line, we didn't redefine it during our application, and will be at the end will be defined as a 0 because we didn't redefine it with this if statement. Of course, when we have if statement, we can use else statement, and this else statement will run if this if condition is not true, like in other languages. And we need a body of this with curly braces with this else statement, and we will define maximum will be equals to epsilon, vice versa. And it's normal, if x is not greater than epsilon, maximum will be equals to epsilon. Pretty much simple. And let's save it and let's run. Now enter number x, it will be 12, and enter number epsilon, it will be 15, and maximum will be equals to 15. And of course, if x is greater 20 and epsilon is 18, maximum will be equals to 20. And this is our simple application. We entering two numbers, and as a response we will get the maximum number of these two. And if this else statement will also run if x is not greater than epsilon, when we have 11 and epsilon will be also 11, also this else statement will run, maximum will be equals to epsilon, which is 11, and maximum will be 11. And of course 11 maximum need to be 11. And this is the simple example of if else statement. Of course, we can have if statement, as many if statement in the application as we want. Else statement and if statement does not require else statement. We can use if statement only, without else. And I will show you example. We will just expand a little this our application, and we will comment this and until here. Okay, let's enter the third variable, but we need a text print line. Enter number z, and let's define variable z. Variable z will be equals to input dot next int, third variable, which is integer. And now we want a maximum from these three numbers. We have three numbers. How can we do that? Okay, simple. Here down we can redefine maximum. Maximum we can redefine like maximum will be equal to x. We redefine, it will not be 0, we redefine our variable maximum. But now, okay, but we want maximum from these three numbers, and we redefine maximum as x. Now, if x is the largest number, it will be okay, but how? Okay, now if x will be, okay, we can try to run. Enter number x 22, enter number y 5, enter number z 10, and maximum is 22, which is perfect. But now we can have a situation. Enter number x 20, y is 25, and z is 40. Maximum will be 20, and it's not good because we redefine maximum as x, and now x can be minimum number or maximum number. It will show us that maximum equals to x, and to resolve it we need if statement. We will create one if statement, and we will create condition if y is greater than maximum. This will be condition, and of course it will be easy. Maximum will be equals to y, and this is our if statement, and we will not use else. This is just condition. If y is greater than maximum, maximum will be equals to y. Pretty much simple. And we can use here, we can use another if statement. If variable z is greater than maximum, maximum will be equals to z, and this will be our application. Pretty much simple. We redefine maximum as x, and this is okay, but we will pass through this first if statement. If y is greater than maximum, we will redefine maximum as y. If y is not greater, maximum will stay as it is. And after this first control statement, we will pass to the second control statement. If z is greater than maximum, maximum will be redefined as z. If z is not greater than maximum, maximum will stay as it is. Pretty much simple. And now let's just save and let's run our application. Okay, first enter number x 25, enter number y 15, and enter number z is 16. Okay, maximum equals to 25, but it is better. Just a second, it is better to write print line. We will print all of these variables, and it will be, and we need a text x equals, and we need dollar and curly braces and variable x, and we will just use copy and paste to be more readable and prettier application. Copy and paste 2 times. And instead of x we will type y, and here we will type y, and here we will type z, and here also we will type z. Now it will be, let's use Ctrl Shift and F. Okay, this is perfect. Let's save and let's, okay, here we can, if we want, we can, okay, now it will be better. Let's run our application. We already have, okay, again we can try 25, y will be 3 and z will be 5. As you can see, now we have all of the number. X equals to 25, y equals to 3, z equals to 5, and maximum is 25, which is great, and we expected that. And now let's try again. Now x will be 10, y will be 14, and z will be 3. Okay, and we have all of these three numbers. X equals to 10, y equals to 14, z equals to 3, and maximum is 14, which is perfect. And now we can run again. X equals to 25, y equals to 12, and z equals to 28. As you can see, we have all of these three numbers: x 25, y 12, z is 28, maximum 28, which means that this application works perfectly. And of course, most important things, we learn here how we can define some variable when we don't know the value, and we learn about if and else statement, which is very important here in Scala. And I'm pretty much sure that you understand it. And if you were with me with some of the previous courses, for you this is real easy. Okay, but this is the simplest applications with if and else. Of course, we will do more complex in the next tutorials, but we are going step by step. I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You have a link in the description, and I will see you in the next tutorial.